Hi guys, I am here with Gareth Hoyle. It's right? My Gareth Hoyle?
That is right. Yeah. Well done.
Okay. And I am a big fan of Gareth, and I know him in Brighton SEO last year. And he is the god of link building right now, right?
Too kind. You're too kind, Carol.
And for me, it's very important, this conversation, because I have some questions about link building and digital PR. And my goal with this channel is to share with Brazilian people, Brazilian builders and SEO, another point of view about all this stuff about digital marketing, digital PR, link building, and SEO. So, Gareth, thank you very much to accept my invitation. For me, it's a pride to talk to you, and I follow you on LinkedIn, and I use your tips about link building. And thank you very much.
You are more than welcome. It's always nice to speak to my Brazilian friends. So, bon dia to you all.
Good, very good. Did you come in Brazil already or not yet?
No, I'm still waiting for my invite, Carol. But I would love. So I've travelled all around the world, and South America is a big gap in my travel. So I would love. I was planning to come in 2020. Then this COVID stuff all happened, and it's just never happened so far. But it's definitely on my short list to visit.
So please come from Brazil and talk to me. That I'm going to travel with you from Pernambuco. It's my state, and have the most beautiful beaches and most beautiful caipirinhas. And
I'm always a fan of a caipirinha. Don't worry about that.
So let's go. Let's go to our interview. Gareth, I am a journalist, and I'm going to take some questions about you. First of all, how did you begin in the link building world? Tell us since if you begin and now what changed in the link building in your universe?
Yes, so I have been working in link building for around 15 years, so a long time. I originally,
but you just had 20 years old. How can be?
Can I say I have a good skincare routine?
Okay, good.
So I used to design my own websites for customers, and then they were asking me, how do I get these to rank on Google? So I started to learn a little bit about SEO and how can I get my customers to the top of Google. And then at the time, link building was very simple. It was just numbers. It was, if you build like 1,000 links, you'll probably get to number one. Very unskilled, and it was just a case of just making noise. So when I was at university, I worked for the American company General Electric, and my role was to be a project manager in between an India back office and the USA corporate office. So I learned about this model of outsourcing. And when I was making websites for small businesses in the UK, I got so annoyed with the business owners asking me the same question. So I decided that I would love to be able to supply SEO services to other SEO companies. So I looked at what it was that I was buying for my clients, and it was links. So I traveled to India, and I visited many companies, and I found a company to partner with. And this was around 2009, 2010. We built that business to around 300 employees. We were working 3 shifts per day, 7 days per week, copy paste, like just really unskilled, Carol, to be honest.
Just in forums and blog comments and directories, right?
Yeah. But this was what was working. So Like we would make the articles, like this is 15 years before ChatGPT. Like articles into like article spinning softwares that we could make one article into 50 articles. And then we would just paste it into these nonsense websites, really. But again, you know, I have to reiterate, this is what was working at the time. And we were working with some fairly corporate businesses doing this type of work. And then in 2012, in April 2012, there was something called the Penguin Update, which wiped out 80% of this link spam, which, in my opinion, I mean, this drastically changed my business. We had to make several hundred people redundant, and it was a terrible time for me, really. But it made us better marketeers. So we can't cheat the system as much anymore. Now we're in 2023, and we have to do PR. Like I don't consider myself to be a link builder anymore. I'm a PR business.
Yes.
We're speaking to journalists. We still speak to blog owners, and we still speak to influencers. And I mean, fundamentally, the game is 100% different. And it's 100% harder now, because in the old days, it was just a process, A, B, C, D, A, B, C, D, repeat it 1,000 times a day, and you would make some money. Whereas now it's a lot more difficult, it's a lot more customized, but it's so much better, Carol. It's the skill set that we need is so much higher than in the old days. Now, I will say that I primarily work in the US and the UK. So I work in English language SERPs. So I know that in some European SERPs, like Swedish or Norwegian, the algorithm is slightly more simplistic still, because Google isn't training its algorithm on smaller markets. And although Brazil is by far the largest, and some may say best, country in South America, there's only really yourselves, Portugal, Angola, and maybe the Azores that are speaking Portuguese.
Yes, yes. I made link building for all the world. Now I'm making from digital PR from Argentina, Colombia, and Mexico. It's easy.
It certainly helps to be able to speak Spanish as well, then.
Yeah, but my English is better than my Spanish. But a little joke, on this time that Google drew up all the sites, you lost your hair.
Well, yeah. I used to have long hair, and now I out. But so there may be exceptions to saying, because in non-English SERPs, I think it is still easier to manipulate the algorithm using deliberate link building. But I mean, link building is changing all the time. We just had a core update finished last week.
Yeah.
And everybody was talking this parasite SEO and this Outlook India website where they were just writing about casino and horrible gambling things and using spam links to an authority site.
Yes, they buy links from our sites. I know here in Brazil we are in this time that a lot of gambling sites are using link building, buying link building in good sites too. I don't know what's going to happen when Google realize this kind of thing. I really don't know, but yes, I agree with you. So Gareth, you mentioned that now we are in ChatGPT era, right? And we have an update last week. Do you believe that ChatGPT is good from link building in some way or no?
Um, at the risk of being an SEO and saying it depends,
Yeah.
look, there is a place for ChatGPT. We use ChatGPT in my agency. So if we need to write an article for a blog that is maybe 5 things you can do to jazz up the walls of your bedroom for one of our art customers, we will use ChatGPT to generate maybe 5 or 10 ideas for the titles of the article. And sometimes we will use ChatGPT to write the article. But I do think that you still need to human edit, because ChatGPT is not perfect. ChatGPT often gives false information. And if you're using ChatGPT 3.5, then you're looking at everything is from 2021, I think, and backwards. So this isn't looking at the current web. It's looking at old data. And the danger, of course, is that if everybody is using ChatGPT, everybody is publishing the same content. Now, it might be slightly different. Like, it's like going back to the article spinners. Like the content that it's producing is 90% the same. Now, if I was a brand and I was serious about the messaging that I'm putting out, do you want to be 90% the same as everybody else in the mall? Or do you want to have your own storefront where you've invested in better storytelling and you've invested in brighter lights and bigger colors? And I just think that if you look at it as that analogy, you're just going to become the same, you could say the same brown beer bottle on the shelf.
It's the same storytelling always.
Yeah,
the same words, and it's from Bing, right? ChatGPT, so it's not Google.
Yeah, but so I've played with Google Bard, and I will confess I've not played with it again recently. I played with it when it first came out, and I wasn't that impressed. Now, I think that these things are moving at a very fast scale, so I'm sure that they're making improvements every day. That this is Google. They probably have like 100 engineers working on this. So there's some clever brains that will be looking at it. But I think ultimately, I mean, Google is an ad selling company. We should never forget this. And their aim is to introduce the SGE SERPs, where they're building the AI into their search results. So I think that they have a different route to market than Bing does, or OpenAI does with ChatGPT. But again, I can never say that you shouldn't use ChatGPT, because I use it myself. I can use it to I send my friends silly poems. Like, there are so many silly reasons that you can use. You can use ChatGPT to respond if you're using a dating app. Like, you can use ChatGPT to write your LinkedIn profile. So if you're making fake personas for link building, because hey, sometimes people
do it. I know it.
Building, then using ChatGPT and AI for imagery, you can easily create Facebook profiles, LinkedIn profiles. And if you can buy labor at a cheap enough rate, you can run them like real profiles. Like, you can use ChatGPT for 20 minutes, and you could make 150 small social media updates.
I think so.
1 month of content with 3 posts per day in 20 minutes. So again, it depends how you want to. I mean, I must admit, my agency now, we have a different mindset. So we tend to try and do things properly. I think, to be honest with you, Carol, I think it depends on your clients. Like, a lot of my clients now, they wouldn't want to be associated with faking it. I suppose. But if you're an affiliate or if you're a small business, why would you not save money? I mean, using ChatGPT to get blog post outlines is amazing. Like, you can just go and say, hey, ChatGPT, I always say please and thank you, because eventually when the machines are running the world, they will remember that I was polite.
Okay, Joaquin Phoenix falling well for her.
I'm actually Matrix. I know how these things end. So,
yeah, but I do it too.
But I think that if you want to write a post about link building trends over the past 15 years, ChatGPT will give you all of your H2 tags to keep it on an SEO footing. So if you use it smartly, then it can definitely be an advantage. If you think that you can just publish 150 posts per day of nonsense, you're not going to rank, because the content just won't be, the quality won't be there. You're not. So for me, Google is about EAT. So experience, authority, trust.
Yeah.
Education as well now. So we have EAT. ChatGPT produced content is not bringing EAT to the party. It's bringing noise to the party. And I believe that my clients who are bringing EAT to the table will, in the long run, win, because we're creating real content that we know that our users want to read, rather than ticking a box to match 500 words to a keyword. So like all tools, you can give me a chainsaw, you can give a 12-year-old child a chainsaw. Like, how you use the tool will depend on your education, on your mindset, and your requirements. So I mean, I'm very happy that ChatGPT is here. So I can't complain. But it's going to make people lazy, I think.
I think that digital world is making people lazy, right? Google.
Well, are we lazy or are we smart?
Depends. It depends. I use ChatGPT to find sites. I ask for him, ChatGPT, show me 20 sites about perfumes, for example. And it's easier because I don't have to search in Google or in Ahrefs or in Search. He gives me, and it's automatic, like a little bit automatization from this process to find sites, and it's good too. But I don't write. I use people to write articles, because it's important. Like as you said, it's very important to eat. But Gary, about digital PR, are you a journalist or no?
I'm not a journalist, no. I employ former journalists, because I believe that there is a level of empathy.
Yeah.
Towards, like, I imagine as a journalist, if you are a fashion journalist in the UK or the US, my God, Carol, you must get 100, 200 emails per day from SEO companies sending these surveys and infographics and just trying to grab your attention. So we employ former journalists, because I feel like they have sat on the other side of the fence. So they have an idea what it will take to get the journalist's attention. So yeah, I'm not a journalist as such, but I have friends that are journalists. I employ journalists. My job is my team's job is to engage with journalists.
So you are a journalist. It's right. Okay.
Well, I mean, we all write content for the web.
Yeah.
I guess we have to look at what the definition of a journalist is now. In the old days, before the internet, or even today when we still have the physical newspapers, a journalist, to me, they had the pad and pen and they're going around.
And not bad, yeah.
Yeah. Whereas now they just have an iPad.
Yeah, it's okay. Gareth, for you, what's the best? This answer can't be depends. Okay? It's our rule from this answer. For you, what's the most important and better in your experience with your clients? But what was the most successful digital PR campaign that you already did? Can you tell us what you did to show our Brazilian people, link building people, how to change the mindset from a link building to a digital PR? You know, can I clear, right?
Yeah, I understand.
Okay,
I understand what you're saying. I mean, fundamentally, newspapers have more authority than a blog.
Mm-hmm.
So when we are doing blog link building, maybe we are going to get and we can talk about metrics in a minute. Maybe we're going to get an average Ahrefs DR of 40, 45 maybe. When we're doing a digital PR campaign, we can get an average DR of 70, 75, 80. And the way we consider a successful digital PR campaign is not always that we are going to get 100, 200 links from the campaign. I think sometimes the difference is that we get links where the journalist is looking for the information that we're pitching. So if the journalist is writing for like a financial news, why would we be trying to give them like home and garden?
Yeah.
Whereas also a good digital PR campaign should send traffic. And this, I think, is sometimes lost with a lot of link builders, because a good digital PR campaign should generate its own links. So maybe we have to seed the links into the first 5 or 10 publications. Then we get lucky and the publications are syndicated by maybe Yahoo Finance or Yahoo Network and then MSN. And then other journalists can start to reference so we did a survey for marketing signals in, I think, 2019, and it was to do with the percentage of e-commerce businesses that fail in year one. We are still getting links from this because the information is out there. We have like a legitimate study. Like we asked 1,000 small businesses. So I think if you bring credibility to your campaigns, then the results, not always, PR cannot be guaranteed. And around 1 year ago, this week in the UK, sadly, our Queen died. My gosh, this was a bad week to be a PR because obviously sad, Carol, the Queen has passed away. But nobody was talking about anything else.
Even here in Brazil, I suffered too.
She was a famous lady.
Yeah.
But again, there are always, and why people I think end up going the link building route is because with PR there are external factors beyond your control. And with link building on blogs and spam sites or PBNs or whatever people are using, you can guarantee no matter what the news is, you can get a link. So I think that in terms of defining success in a digital PR campaign, you should be getting referring traffic from it. And another thing that we try and implement for our customers is if we're creating content for the digital PR campaign, whether this is a survey or some kind of data visualization, this should be the sort of thing that the brand is proud to share on their social media, because this is real world things. It's not made up. It's not fake news, to use the American term. It's real information that their customers should be interested in. Like we are doing this interview today about link building because your readership are SEOs in Brazil, and I hope they are interested to know what the people in UK and US are doing for link building and digital PR, especially as we go into 2024 and the game is getting harder. So we are producing content that I will be proud to share on my social media channels, and that is a sign of quality, and you can't fake that. Like, you have to put real effort. Like, we are both taking 1 hour of our day to speak to each other. We have spent 1 hour talking about this interview beforehand, preparing questions, talking about, do you mean this? Shall we cover this? Like, you can't fake this. Like, this is real business things. And I think that long term, that will rise to the top. So I think you have to take that approach with your digital PR campaigns. But again, it's not always about getting 100 links from your digital PR campaign. If you were doing for like a football or a soccer brand, well, if you got featured in 5 of the top Brazilian magazines about soccer, this is perfect. Like, there aren't 100 magazines about soccer. Maybe you can do something, and I will think on my feet, Santos will retweet your information.
Yeah,
that's perfect. You don't need 100 links off the back of this, because you're talking to your audience on the channels where they are, and you can screenshot that Santos retweeted you and share that on your social media because you're proud of the content that you're creating. And I think if the Brazilian audience keep this type of again, I say a lot, mindset. I believe in mindset dictates everything.
So do I.
A golden mindset as well.
A little curiosity here. Do you know Santos for Neymar or Pelé?
Pelé. I'm old.
Good. Very good.
Old. So I'm for Pelé, definitely.
Very good.
Didn't know that Neymar played for Santos. I just remember from when I was a child, Pelé was playing, and I think from TV, I also remember like Fluminense and a few other.
Flamengo, and my team is Santa Cruz Football Club. It doesn't exist.
My in the UK is in Division 4. So,
mine too.
And of course, we all know Japanese.
Yeah.
From the crash. So not always good news. But to give you the TLDR for the question, good PR campaign is not about numbers. It's about putting your content in front of the right people, getting it syndicated to the right places, and it should deliver links on an ongoing basis. We would call it evergreen content.
It's like an opportunity to be outsider from your niche, right?
Yeah, and just the authority. Again, it all comes back to eat. We are giving the expertise. We're giving the information away for free. We have authority because it's being picked up by other news outlets, and we're building trust because people, whether they are right or wrong, believe what they read in the newspaper or what they read on the news website. So
I think that building trust is a very good sentence, because it's the real truth, right? But do you know, when Elizabeth passed away, it was a bad week here from Brazil, but I was a client that was a wine e-commerce. And Elizabeth, during her day, she drank a little glass of Brazilian wine. And I make an article talking about this wine. And for this, I have such little links using Elizabeth's death. It was not so good. I am a bad person.
But it's also real news, though. Like, it's not made up, it's not fake.
No, it was not fake.
The emotion was that I wish to have a glass of wine. And, you know, hey, everybody needs paying, Carol, remember? So you have to make your money. So don't never feel guilty about that.
I think so. Yes, I think so. And Gary, in a digital PR campaign, what do you think more important? A content article evergreen in your blog post to bait the links, a social media sharing about it, or a tier one journal sharing your content? What is your steps from create a digital PR campaign in your mindset?
So, I mean, the easy answer is to say I want everything. Like, I want all the links, all the social shares. I want journalists shouting about it for me. But you never know where the next link will come from, because you might have the newspaper retweets. So again, I say newspaper, we can also use industry magazines. We can use B2B publications, B2C publications. So when I say newspapers, I mean like the publishers, I guess. I should use publishers, not newspapers. So the publisher could share on their, I will always call it Twitter, not X. The publisher could share on their Twitter or on their Facebook. And then a journalist can pick up the story off social media and write about it and give you a link. So fundamentally, my clients are measuring me. My KPI is link building, because social sharing is good, social traffic is good, but my job is to build authority into the domain so that they are ranking higher for commercial terms. So I will always measure my team primarily on backlinks. There is no real way of getting around that. But at the same time, I mean, tracking social shares is very difficult to do accurately as well. Like, at the risk of plugging one of my tools, I have a tool called Coveragely, which is used for reporting your backlinks to your clients. And we decided that there is no reliable data to count social shares, because each platform is individual. It's a different company. They closed their APIs. So it's, but again, I think that a good digital PR campaign should appeal across all the platforms. So not just for link building outreach, it's good content for the social media team at the brand to use. It's good content for the social media team at the publisher to use. And I think that if you are not confident or proud to share your digital PR campaign on the brand social media platforms, maybe it's not a very good campaign.
Yeah, totally agree with you. Yeah, it's very good. And Gary, do you mention in some part of your speech about DR of Ahrefs? What do you think about this kind of metrics? It's important yet because I have a site that has more than 800 traffic by the month, but the DR is not so good. So do you believe that DR or PR or other metric, page rank, for example, that it's not shown for us anymore, but it's important already?
So we need to measure. So like none of these are Google metrics. So Ahrefs has domain rank, Moz has domain authority, Majestic, which is the one that I probably trust the most, has trust flow and citation flow.
Mm-hmm.
And then another very popular metric that I use in all my client reports is SEMrush gives me the number of keywords that a domain is ranking for and the value of the traffic if you were to buy the traffic on a PPC.
Mm-hmm.
So all of these give wildly different numbers. I can show you a site that has been penalized, so it has no SEMrush traffic, but has a very high DR. I don't want this link. I would rather have the traffic than the DR. But I think that we need to measure. There is an Austrian economist called Peter Drucker who said, if you can measure it, you can manage it. So for my clients, we accept that all these metrics are not Google metrics. But if we are measuring, if we are all using the same broken ruler, does the ruler become correct? So if I'm measuring my DR, but also 5 of my competitors' DR, and my DR is going up faster than my competitors, this should be a good thing.
Yeah.
It's not going to have that much of a direct effect on whether I rank or not. If the people are people, like everybody has a different opinion. Everybody, I like this, you like that, they like the other one. I think that if you accept the fact that it's not a Google metric, but it is a measurement that we can use within a larger campaign to calculate whether we're making the right amount of progress. But I think that you can, I'm not an expert on these things, Carol, so I'm sure some of your readers will let us know in the comments. But I think you can go to like Fiverr and you can pay people to increase your DR. But again, like, why? Like, unless you're a link seller that is trying to fraud or con your clients, if the ranking doesn't change, then who cares what the DR is? Like, I would happily have a very low DR, but the blog post that I write or the PR coverage that I get takes the featured snippet. You don't always have to have a high DR to take the featured snippet. If the blog or the publication is relevant to what my client's brand is marketing, I don't really care about. I think that DR and DA are quite easily manipulated. Again, I'm not an expert on how they do this. It's just not. It's just not what I would do, to be honest. But I do know that a much more robust metric is flow from Majestic, because they look at the links that are coming into the site. I mean, I'm not going to give you an overview of what you can just go and Google what is Majestic Trust Flow, and you can do your own.
Yeah. I use Majestic here. Do you prefer Majestic or Ahrefs just from link building?
Yeah, so if I'm using it solely from a metric perspective, I prefer Majestic. Obviously, Ahrefs also gives me visibility. It gives me the keywords they're ranking. It gives me more than Majestic. But I would put more trust in Majestic's metrics, because I believe that they are more robust, and I believe that they are harder to gain. And that, to me, it means that I'm seeing a true picture, rather than, like I say, somebody went and spent 50 USD on Fiverr to make their DR40 or DR60. Like, it just seems like, again, fake. Like, if you do real business, if you're a real business, you should do real business activity. You shouldn't need to fake to make progress. But again, I will I have to include them because they are one of my favorite tools. SEMrush traffic. Like if that website is getting traffic and it's related to what my customer is selling. So if I'm working with a swimwear brand, the publication that is featuring my content is ranking for top 10 bikinis for summer 2023 or something like that. Perfect, because I might get traffic from that publication. And in theory, that traffic is looking for a new bikini. And if I can get my client's bikini featured in that post, brilliant. There's every chance that we can actually sell some products. So we got the SEO link, we got the traffic to the site, so we have more brand recognition, but we also got paid. Like, surely that's what everybody wants from that.
But it's the best, most perfect link, right?
Yeah, absolutely. Sometimes with digital PR, and you have to accept this, that maybe half of the links that you generate will be no follow, because a lot of publications have either a no link policy, a no follow policy, or they are cheeky and they will add affiliate links.
Yeah. Do you believe in no follow links to gain brand authority? With no follow link, it's possible, just like a brand mention too, because doesn't have the link. But Mary Hines said once that if you have a brand mention in a good newspaper, for example, it's important to. Do you agree with that, or it depends?
Again, I don't want to say it depends. You told me I'm not allowed to say it depends, so I've not said it.
No, it wasn't that. The last question. This one you get.
I have a lot of respect for Marie, and Marie knows what she's talking about. So no follow links are absolutely fine for me, because that no follow link may get syndicated into a follow link page. That no follow link may be on a large publication that drives traffic and revenue for my client. The brand mention, I mean, it's good that your name is mentioned like in the text, but unless, like, look, if your brand is like Nike or Adidas or I don't know, some
Coca-Cola.
Yeah, like maybe it's like a trademark, so they know that they can say that this is a brand mention. Like my agency is called Marketing Signals. Like I'm sure many people write articles about marketing signals that are not about my agency. They are about like the signals that you require for marketing. So I would, if anything, I just see that if I get a brand mention, then that gives my team a job to go and see if they can convert it to a link. So, but again, it's association, because if we think about EAT and we think about authorship, so the Gareth Hoyle is talking today about link building. The transcript that will go on YouTube, it will say Gareth Hoyle link building. There will be no link, but there is like an association of the words that my name is mentioned near the word link building. Then if Google goes to my Marketing Signals website, they can find my author profile for Gareth Hoyle. They can say, oh, this guy, we associate him with link building.
It's semantic, right?
In theory. I mean, Google must have a lot of computational power to try and calculate all this. Or is it what we would say in English, FUD? So fear, uncertainty, and doubt. Is Google making us think this is what they are doing?
Very good.
Trying to get our names mentioned and don't worry about the links, just get your name and that's fine. I mean, Google has already come out, and maybe this is ChatGPT's fault as well. Google can no longer index the whole web. Like, it's impossible. Like, even with every NVIDIA GPU processor stored in the cold water in the Arctic to make it efficient, you cannot index the whole internet anymore. Like, you just can't. Like, there is so much low-level content. There is so much content that even Wall Street Journal are probably pushing more content than Google can index.
Yes, I think so.
And because it's news, we say that today's news is tomorrow's fast food wrapper.
Yeah.
So, you know, like today the news is about this. Tomorrow it's irrelevant. If Google doesn't, if the crawl budget for your site doesn't allow for Google to crawl all of your pages, maybe you lose out. Like, you could have the best link, well positioned above the fold, like saying like big arrows, click me so you can buy my product. But if it doesn't get indexed, no point.
And what can I do about it? Like professionals, link building professionals, what can I do about it?
So, I mean, we used to, in the old days, we used to use a search console where you can request. A lot of the time, if you can get the page shared on social media, that is always a good way of getting the page indexed. If you can get internal links to the page, so whether it's on like a publisher where you're asking for to be in the top stories of the day.
You are a genius. Now I love you.
Again, it's almost like a self-feeding machine, because if you get a lot of social shares, maybe your post will become part of, you'll get more eyeballs on your page. If you get more eyeballs on your page, you will appear high on the featured articles of the day, which means that you are more likely to be in a sidebar widget, which means you are more likely to be indexed via an internal link. So again, it comes down to if your content is newsworthy, if your content is readable, if it's interesting to people, then it should get indexed. But also, if your content is just on some crappy website that Google hasn't got the time or the resource to index every page, and I don't blame them, to be honest. I'm on Facebook in some of the SEO groups and LinkedIn in the SEO groups. Some of these people, they're thinking they can publish 100 posts per day, and this time next year they will be millionaires, and they are just, they are drunk, I think.
You can't even read one article or two articles because they are so big. Imagine a 10 or 15 or 20.
Sometimes, and I think that Google's algorithm is to be blamed for some of this. But you might say, I want to see the top 10 restaurants in a city. My God, they write first 500 words is nothing to do with the restaurants. It's like, what is a restaurant? What is this city? What is like, they're fine. I
hate it. I hate it. When I open a blog post that I want just a restaurant and said, oh, this kind of place is very fucking. Yes, I agree with you. Yes, it's very good. Your opinion
as well, Carol. We know too much. So, like, as soon as I want to do some research on, maybe it would be like my children want a new bike. So I'm like, okay, what is the best bike for a 12-year-old boy? I think these are just affiliates. Like, they're not giving me the real information. They're giving me which one is going to give them the most money. So we are jaded because we know how the system works.
Everything it's about money. But Gareth, talking about our last question, because we are a lot of time, what do you think that it would be the most important challenge from digital PR into 2020 2024. It's right, 2024. Yes. My English teacher will find me.
We would say 2024, but I understand what you're saying. And Carol, your English is much better than my Portuguese or my Brazilian. So
Thank you very much.
Obrigado. The world is so noisy now. Like, everybody is doing digital PR. Everybody is doing survey. We asked 1,000 businesses this. We asked 1,000 people this. We made this visualization. 10 places that you should go. 10 roads you should drive in Brazil. Like, there is staying relevant in such a like, it's like we are in the biggest crowd at the biggest carnival, and everybody is shouting at the same time. Like, how do I make my voice the loudest in the room? And I mean, I am 2 meters tall. I am 110 kilos. I can make my voice loud. Maybe what comes from authority, because people are seeking out your name in a way. So if they know, this article, this video is made by Carol PERES, I know that I can trust it because I've heard of her before. I've read her stuff. I already subscribe to her YouTube channel. And I tell you now, audience, if you don't, you should click the bell icon so that you can get all of Carol's updates. And I think that it's just trying to stay relevant, trying to stay above the noise. And that is going to be a challenge. I don't foresee this as being easy, because as Google gets a little bit smarter with the spam links or the PBN links not working, like SEOs, we ruin things. So there is the platform Harrow, help a reporter out.
I know Harrow. I use it too.
But we don't even go there anymore, because it is just full of low-level SEOs. Like, even the journalists that we're speaking to, they're not going there anymore because they just get such low-level responses, probably written by ChatGPT. Go circle back to chat. Whereas there are other platforms where you have to pay to be a member of. And one of the platforms that we use, we have to pay like $1,000 a month. So I have an itchy nose. We pay $1,000 a month for access to the platform. But that eliminates the low level like users, because $12,000 a year is a lot of money. But if the journalist puts in the request and you are one of 5 people offering like a real expert authority led opinion versus going to Harrow where it's free, and you get like 200 SEOs going, oh, I can give you this information, and it's just ChatGPT nonsense. I think the money is worth paying to be in the party of 5 than in the party of 300. So I think that trust is going to be massive in 2024. I think that the semantics and getting the schema within to sort of move away from link building towards some of the technical side of stuff. Okay. Because it's and I try and live my life like this. It's high standards. So if you have a very good code base, you have high standards. If you have individually written good quality content on your website, you have high standards. If you're just publishing ChatGPT on WordPress 2021 themes, you're not even having the most recent, why are you going to get the link? Like, why is the journalist going to trust you? There are better options out there. And again, I think we're spending more time on imagery to support our PR, because it's high standard, it's high quality, and sometimes we use AI to just help us out a little bit. But if you can stand out in a busy room, then you will see success through digital PR in 2024.
Very, 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 very good. Very good. I am in love with our conversation, and I hope that I can hug you physically soon. But Gary, thank you so much for your time. Thank you so much for your knowledge. That for me, I have 15 years of experience too. I'm a journalist, and then I was on a PR, and then I start on link building more. But I like to people like you, because I can learn anymore, and I can change my knowledge, and I can up my knowledge. And today it was a day like that.
Good. Well, every day I am upping my knowledge as well. So we say that the person that thinks they know everything knows nothing. So you should always be trying to upskill and learn and never be complacent, and keep trying, keep experimenting, keep trying new stuff, and you will succeed. And yeah, I thank you for having me on your channel, Carol. And if any of your viewers or listeners, because some people just listen with the different tab, then of course they can Google my name, and they will find me. On Twitter, I am a search_magician. But more than anything, I use LinkedIn as my social media channel. So you can find me, Gareth Hoyle. Please give me a follow. Send me a friend request. If you give me a friend request and then sell me something, I will just block you. But I'm more than I like to share my knowledge, because once upon a time, I was new in this game. Once upon a time, yesterday, there was things that I didn't know about that I learned today in this job. So I'm always happy to share, because people share things with me, and that's what I love the most about this industry. We share and we help each other out.
Very good. I will write your LinkedIn profile in this description of the channel, right?
Perfect.
And thank you very much, Gareth. Have a nice week, and thank you for your time. Bye-bye.
Thanks. See you soon.
Bye-bye.